All right, good morning, guys, and welcome to another week's forecast. Today we're forecasting for the upcoming week, the week of the 9th of March, 2025. Our previous week was an interesting week of trading with the Trump tariffs, which sent the market going crazy, made it a little bit difficult to trade midweek, but after the chaos of the tariff announcements had settled, the market pretty much did what we had expected it to do. Now let's jump right in and let's take a look at what we expect for this week. Let's take our first look at the DXY. Now the DXY has been selling off for quite some time, and I expect it to either continue and reach all the way down to our level here at 103.245, or it might go make a move to the upside. But what I expect is that it will continue down to our level here. Once this DXY continues down to this level, we should expect the USD/JPY as well as the USD/CHF to continue to sell off. We had a little bit of a pullback on Friday with the NFP and the unemployment rate, but I expect within the first 2 to 3 days of the upcoming week that we will continue to the downside. So I expect price to continue moving downwards. Maybe touch that trend line and then just continue down to this level here for both the USD/JPY and the USD/CHF. Might get a little bit of a reaction and then just continue the downside. I'm not convinced that it will get all the way here in the upcoming week. It's a possibility. Well, all the way to the bottom here in the upcoming week. But it's a possibility that it can get to this level here. But I expect it to sell off. That's the USD/JPY and the USD/CHF. Now, the other pairs that I have for this week would be the GBPNZD. We've had strong bullish momentum last week and the week before with this massive bullish candle last week. We have a little bit of topping off with that momentum on topping off of the momentum. And I am hoping and expecting that this coming week we can finally start to get a sell-off. All right, we've been bullish 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row. If we go back here, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks bullish, and then we finally get a sell-off. So I'm expecting and hoping that we finally get a sell-off in the upcoming week. Because the last 4 days, we had some amount of selling, but then on Friday we had a bullish candle. But that bullish candle didn't manage to close above the previous day's high. And so that's why I'm thinking that the momentum is starting to slow. See, we didn't break that previous high. So what I'm expecting is that we break this trend line, we break through it, we retest, reject, and then we start selling down. So that's what I'm expecting for the GBPNZD. The AUD/CHF and the NZD/CHF, I'm expecting them to break this trend line. So we sold off the last 2 days of the week. And I think we're going to get a change in direction now, with price becoming more bullish and making its way to the upside. On Friday, we made a move to the trend line, but we weren't able to close just above it. But I expect that to happen on Monday, and I expect price to show us or confirm to us that we are now bullish, maybe around Tuesday or Wednesday. I think the best trades happen Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Those are the best days to trade. I expect pretty much the same with the AD, the JPY, AUD JPY. Now, with the AUD JPY, we did manage to break out from that trend line and establish that we're bullish with a massive bullish engulfing candle here. What I would want is a retest and rejection about this level and then just continue to the upside. I personally like to see a W pattern. So I want to see price form a trend line by itself, come to this area, reject it, and then just shoot up to the upside. Once price comes to this area and rejects, that's my confirmation that price is now bullish and we'll make our move to the upside. The GBPJPY on Friday, it started to move to the upside, buying off of this trend line. Now, the rejection of this trend line here was a confirmation that price is now going to the upside for me. All right, but I didn't take this trade. I was just watching it. What I would want to happen in the upcoming week is for price to come one more time to this area, reject it, and then just make its way up. All right. So we can remove this because I didn't take that trade. I was just looking at it. This would be a nice, very nice trade because you have a trend line that's established and you have an area of liquidity or a support zone that price will buy off of. So once we get a pullback and we shoot up to the upside, it's smooth sailing from there because look at this. This was a trend line that price was respecting since December. Since late December, price was respecting this trend line. And we've broken out of that trend line now and buying off of it. So this is an indication for me that price is going to the upside. Price is now bullish. So this is a pretty good trade for me. I just want to see that rejection, that retest and rejection, and I'll be all in that one. I think this GBPJPY and the GBPNZD are the best bets for the upcoming week. Now, there is one more that I'm looking at, the AUD-NZD. Now, why am I looking at the AUD-NZD? Because again, it's at a trend line and price respects this trend line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is going to be the 7th touch of that trend line. And every time price comes to that trend line, there's a reaction. Price buys off of it. But not only is there a trend line for price to buy off of, there's also this liquidity zone, this area of support that price touched on and had a massive reaction on Friday. See? Price went down to the area, barely touched the area and resisted, shooting all the way out to the upside, broke this trend line, and then there's a retest happening here. So I expect with this price to go upwards. So I expect a bullish price on this. Now, I don't like trading the AUD-NZD because it's a very slow pair, a very slow pair. But this here, based on previous behavior, this is also a very good trade. So if you're a long-term trader, a weekly trader, and you have I'd say a sizable account, you can take this trade and you can hold for quite some time. So you get a big payoff. Because this here is going to pay off as long as you're patient with it. But if you have a small account, it really doesn't profit you to stay in this trade for a long time with a small account. All right. So those are my pairs for this week. That's what I expect to happen. Next weekend, again, I'll do it again, do another forecast for the upcoming week. I do forecast weekly on Saturday mornings, and I post before 12. So you can join the channel, subscribe, like, share, tell a friend. and we can start a community. All right, that's it for now. I'll see you again next week, and happy trading.